Hey there, what's happening everybody? This is Casey. I'm back with a new Roadster project update. The last update you saw, we were starting to mount the body to the frame, and I said it was going to be a two-parter because I ran out of time. I'm trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter. So we're back. We're finishing up bolting the body to the frame, adding the cowl brackets to the frame, and trying to line the doors. So stay tuned and check it out. Alright, so as you can see, got all of the holes drilled in the boxing plates. This gives me access to my body mounts, but in my opinion, it also makes for kind of a cool look from the back. Anybody's checking out the back of the car. They're all equally spaced and decreasing in size, which is fancier than I was gonna get with it. So anyway, in the last video we cut off the frame brackets and we started drilling these holes. In this video, pardon my trash on the floor, in this video we're gonna start installing the wood. So for any of you that haven't done this before, I'll show you what the wood kit looks like for a 1928-29 Model A Roadster. So the front piece that goes under the cowl on the early Roadsters is one big long piece. I can't remember if it's on the 3031 or if it's just on all of the coupes that they use two separate pieces for the cowl. But as you can see, one long piece. The two hole part goes to the rear, the one hole part to the front. If you don't have anything at all and you're in a country where it's harder to get parts, you can find the dimensions for all these pieces online. Here are the correct orientation of the three cross rail pieces for a 1928-29 Roadster. Basically, as you're looking at the wood blocks, the taller part goes towards the inside to help support the sub rail. So obviously they're going to go in and over the frame. The holes are going to line up with the holes in the sub rails, but that's how they go. So I'm going to put the camera down real quick and I'm going to get these blocks all in place under the sub rails and start lining everything up. All right, so there's two things that I neglected to show you in the last clip. One is these rear body mount pieces. Note the proper orientation if you do not have a Z'd frame. These will actually mount to a piece of the rear cross member that's been cut off of the body. You cut it off when you Z the frame so that the rear cross member fits up inside the sub rails. Also notice that I trimmed my rear cross member on the corners. This actually allowed the body to drop down about another, I don't know, quarter of an inch or so. Probably would have been better to trim the cross rail, but I had done my boxing job for my notch already, and I didn't want to disturb that, so I just trimmed the tail end of the cross member, and I'll clean that up a little bit more at the end. So anyway, the other thing I didn't show you guys is I like to get a big punch close to the appropriate size of the body mount holes. And so you can kind of go around and make sure that you're lined up. And if you're a little bit off, you can drop this guy in and you can kind of wiggle it around to line the body up. So I've got all three sub rails, all 6 body mount holes through the wood lined up with the holes in the frame. So now I can get hardware and snug the back of the car up and then start on the front. Part number 45, body to frame bolt kit, 1928-31. I believe I got this from Eckler's or Max or one of those. So let me get this out and try to see if we can determine what goes where. Interesting. So I believe that what we've got is these two 3/8 fine thread bolts. I'm gonna assume are the front cowl holes. And then we've got 4 carriage bolts, all the same length, 3/8 coarse thread. And those are gonna be the rear cowl to frame bracket. Then I've got 4 sort of medium length 1/2 inch, I believe those are fine thread, front subrail, second subrail, and then I've got 2 really long 1/2 inch fine thread bolts, which I believe are going to be my rear mount, but I don't have the carriage bolts for the 3rd subrail, which is kind of funky. So I don't know if they just shorted me, or perhaps these 3/8 fine thread bolts are meant to be for that 3rd subrail and they didn't give me anything for the front cowl mounting bolt. These long suckers, I'm assuming, are to go through that tall rear body block, but they're going to be too long for another mount. So I'm going to have to scrounge up some hardware. But let me get these in. All right, so we've got our body bolted to the frame along the 3 cross channels. This is through the body blocks into the frame. As you can see, I've also got all of my holes drilled in the frame itself. Those of you who watched the Mustang video last week got a little sneak peek of this. Basically what we've got is we've got, I think starting at 2 1/4, working our way down to 1 3/4. So decreasing in size and evenly spaced. I think that it looks pretty cool from the back. So if, you know, somebody's behind me, they get a glimpse of it like that. That's neat. It's more than I was gonna do on this project, so I'm happy with it. Anyway, so now, basically what it comes down to is aligning these doors. Passenger door is not bad. That's fully closed. The driver's side door is way off, and the clamp is kind of cheating it a little bit, but I mean, it is way off. So much so that I don't think I'm going to be able to align it with just shims. It's like you can tell it's at the right height in the front, but like the whole front of the door needs to move forward. I'm gonna assume that either the door frame or the hinge is bent. So you can see it's really tight there. Whereas that side's got some gap. Anyway, but let me show you on the passenger door what difference a shim can make. So again, just for before and after purposes, set up the tripod right here and throw a shim in there and then go back to the door. So for now, I'm just using what I have laying around. Some aluminum stock. I think that's, it's not quite 1/8 inch. It's a little thicker than 1/16, and a washer. There we go. I'm just gonna lift up and throw a shim underneath. Couldn't be easier. So that's just one shim underneath the very front of the body. We'll go see what that does to the door up close. All right. I'd say that's pretty livable. Check the bottom. Yeah, obviously I still have to do patch panels on this door, but I figured it was going to be best to get everything aligned before I go to work. So obviously I'll have to make myself a spacer to fit underneath the cowl that's that thickness. Has a hole in it for the body mount. But that's the idea. So I messed around with this side. Basically, I spaced up the back of the cowl, clamped the front of the cowl to the frame, trying to tilt that door up, and it barely changed. So I think on this side, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do some slicing and dicing on the door. I mean, this door is beat to hell, and that doesn't help. The hinges are all bent. I mean, look at that. That looks like it's bent down and rearward. Plus the door's all crunched around the hinge. This isn't gonna be a show car, but I definitely don't want the door dipping down below the body line. So now we just gotta get our cowl brackets on. Which basically meet up with the body wood here in the back. All right, so as you can see, this frame doesn't have any cowl mounting brackets on it. These are reproduction brackets from Brookwood. If you go back to my Let's Talk Chassis video, I had some brackets on the frame that were obviously in the wrong spot. I don't know if they vary from coupe to sedan to roadster or not, but either way, once I had cut them off the chassis, they were not in any kind of shape to put back on, so I got some reproductions. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace a line, and then I'm gonna get my grinder out, clean this up, throw them back in place and tack them. Just probably tack them for now. Do all my final shimming, make sure that I don't have the bracket set too high or anything like that, and then go from there. So to get these brackets in place, I'm going to drop my carriage bolts through the sub rails. And I'm going to get down here on the floor, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my wood block is in the right spot, centered over the bolts. And I'm going to slide my bracket into place. And I'm going to kind of just visually line it up. And then once I'm happy that it's centered, throw the lid on. Swing over the other side. All right. Now for good measure. Sounds like we pulled the first one. And that's it. All right, so now with the cowl mount tacked in place and snugged up, and my shim in place in the front, I would call that just about perfect. Now, maybe there is still hope for this side. I don't know. Basically, I'd have to jack the back of the cowl up 1/4 inch and lock the front of the cowl down. I guess it's worth trying, but I'm not gonna do it today. But there you have it. The body is mounted to the frame. I mean, it never really translates into video. But that's it. One step closer. All right, folks. Thanks for watching the video this week. I wanted to give a big shout out to all the new subscribers to the channel. We're up to 630 now. It's very humbling, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you who think my projects are interesting enough to follow along. Please be sure to hit that like button if you like what you saw in today's video. Hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you want to see more of in future videos. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a lot. The Roadster project will be back. We're going to work on the Mustang for a couple of weeks. I've got a pretty massive track prep project going on in that car. I want to do some road racing next spring. 2022, baby, that's going to be the year. I've been wanting to do this for as long as I can remember, and it's time. And I'm going to go out in a Highland Green fastback and go around a racetrack. I can't wait. Anyway, the Roadster will be back, I promise, and soon, very, very, very soon. Thank you again so much for all your kind words in the comment sections, for watching my videos every week, for hitting that like button as often as you do. Thanks to the one guy who always dislikes every single video I put out. That's pretty special. Yeah, all right. Anyway, you guys are the best, man. I will see you next week. All right, take care. Hello there, Internet. Welcome back, Roadster fans. Thanks for checking us out here this week on Crazy Casey's Customs YouTube channel. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of a dumb intro, isn't it? All right.